pressure. Should you keep your relationships casual? No. Casual sex has become increasingly more popular in the US throughout the last however many years. This topic applies to other places too, but I'm trying my best to figure things out here, so I'm gonna just keep referring to my local country. You can apply this to whatever though. Over the last few decades, there's been a push to be more accepting of lifestyles outside of the traditional heterosexual American dream. Among many things, this has led to couples opting to have more casual romantic relationships rather than wanting to settle down and have kids. Just to get a few things out of the way, I don't care about the American dream. I don't got a good job, a wife, or kids, so I'm not finna advocate for a lifestyle I'm completely removed from. There are plenty of cultures where multiple partners is the norm. I don't think casual sex is gonna ruin your life, nor is this video to shame people with a high body count. There's plenty of people that complain about that when they catch feelings, but under different circumstances, they'd be happy being one of those bodies. You can have standards for a partner, but make sure to practice what you preach. This video is all just a tangent from my own experience. And speaking of experience, I barely got any. I'm 23 and I've gone out with maybe 10 people total. Only 3 of those led to anything physical. I've never put it in though, so I'm a virgin. I used to lie about that, so if more than 2 people watch this video, it could be a first time admission. To do a quick scouting report, I'm 6'5", and I went from this to this over the last few years. None of this is to say look at how sick I am, because I just admitted to y'all I'm a virgin. So if I sound like I'm getting full of myself, tell me to go get laid. What am I finna say to that? Plus, there's nothing wrong with how I looked before. Y'all can't tell me I ain't look like an elite Joni. But the after picture is considered more conventionally attractive, and my appearance changed how people treated me. When I told people I was a virgin in high school, you can imagine how they reacted. When I tell guys I'm a virgin now, they go, "Damn bro, I figured you got hella play. That's what I'd do if I had your height. You just need to use those genetics. You need more confidence, bro." I could definitely use more confidence and charisma, but at this point in my life, I'm capable of approaching a woman if I find her attractive. Maybe after a little bit of cold feet. The issue I see is that in modern dating, sleeping around is seen as successful, especially amongst men. If I don't go out of my way to hook up with people, that now means that I need more confidence or I'm wasting my genetics. If you just like fucking for the love of the game, you don't gotta listen to nothing I'm about to say. I'm not your dad. Being in a committed relationship is the more challenging option, and I truly believe it's ultimately the more fulfilling. This wasn't always my train of thought. I didn't start dating until 21. I was too shy. Eventually, I hopped on dating apps with the sole intention of getting my dick wet. I tried hooking up with the first girl I met. That didn't work. We ended up dating for a couple months, and after I got dumped, I learned a few things from that. The first was that if I'm actively watching porn, I can't get it up for real women, so I had to quit. That's a topic for another video. The second was that I found I enjoyed the aspect of being with someone rather than trying to hook up. I ain't gonna say I've never thought about or tried to hook up with anyone since, but I've self-sabotaged every time it seems like it's gonna work. And the final thing I learned is that a majority of the stimulation from anything physical, making out, groping, fucking, comes from the aspect of being with another person. Even though I'm making a video telling people what to do with their sex life as a virgin, I ain't naive enough to say, sex is just spiritual. Doesn't matter who you do it with or what they look like, as long as you love them. Physical things do matter in a relationship, and saying that sex will feel good no matter who you do it with as long as you love them is like telling your little 5'1" cousin he can hoop for any college he wants as long as he works hard enough. That motherfucker's not getting no D1 offers. You can have bad sex with someone you love and good sex with someone you don't got feelings for. People have preferences. A lot of people like bigger butt, bigger chest, bigger dick. And that's just the vanilla stuff. People also have a multitude of fetishes, like feet or bondage, that might not be reciprocated by someone they want to sleep with. Plus, like any physical act, sex is improved through muscle memory, so the more you do it, the better you'll get. Here's the issue with just seeing sex as physical. While physical traits do matter, most of the stimulation comes from the aspect of being with another person. because if it was just about feeling good, you would be just fine by yourself. Sex toys can do things people can't, and you know your own body best. So your hand is going to do a much better job than a majority of the people you could sleep with. Nobody I've met can give me as good of a hand job as Righty here. So why do I still want that from other people? Why do we have sex? The purpose of sex is to have kids, but don't nobody care about that. This video is referring to casual sex, and nobody's doing that to start a family. I hope. Though your body still drives itself to mate, so we get horny and want that need to be satiated. In a relationship, people have sex to have their needs met. Being intimate with someone you care about is more fulfilling than jerking off or staying home with the Dickinator 9000 because it's a shared experience. You get to feel good with someone you care about. Okay, then if that fulfillment comes from joint stimulation, why do people still hook up if it's inherently more selfish and won't feel as good? The most obvious case is you think someone's hot and you just want to fuck them as soon as possible. There ain't nothing wrong with that, but it's common to regret this decision sometime after the fact, and that experience often loses the initial oomph after you brag about it to a few of your friends. The older you get, the less cool people will think it is that you hooked up with some random person you met at a bar. If this was the only reason people hooked up, I feel like modern dating wouldn't have taken such a shift towards glorifying it. In conjunction with hookup culture being popularized on social media, a few other reasons come into play here. The first of those is societal pressures in heterosexual dating. Traditionally, the dynamic between men and women in the US is that women are sought after and men pursue. And people feel like they have something to offer when they fill those roles by either being hit on or having their desire to have sex reciprocated. Hooking up is also a common way to get over or get back at someone. Humans like to distract ourselves from pain, so to deal with the hurt of a breakup, people like to hook up as a distraction or as a fuck you to the person who hurt them. Friends with benefits and situationships. In these scenarios, there's two types of people. The person who actually wants this and is settling for surface level relationship benefits without any of the commitment, and the hopeless romantic who wants something more but is taking what they can get. In every one of these situations, you'll get one of each, so that's why they don't work. Because if you had two settlers, then ideally it would be fine. Both of them are okay with just fucking. That ain't how humans work. One of them is likely going to develop feelings at some point. And if you had two romantics, then it would just turn into a relationship. If it's not, that means one of them is being held back by something and turn into a settler. This shit has become so popular in modern dating, and it actually pisses me off. If you want to date, then date. If you want to hook up, then hook up. Don't do this have your cake and eat it too half-ass bullshit. If you ain't the one being hurt by this, then you're probably hurting someone else unintentionally. There's a difference between taking your time to see what happens and being fucking lazy, and you know it. Then there's the most delicate reason for hooking up, which is low self-esteem. A lot of people have traumatic sexual events in their life and then turn to fucking because it makes them feel in control of what happened to them. Or if another traumatic thing in their life that wasn't sexual caused them to have low self-esteem, they might be turning to sex to make them feel wanted because they think it's all they have to give. These are tough to address. It's easy to tell someone to stop doing something because you think it's hurting them. I'm working on self-esteem now due to things that have happened in my life. I've gone through a family size pack of Oreos in one sitting on many occasions, and I'm currently on my third attempt of trying to quit porn permanently. Compulsive behavior is hard to stop. Everybody overindulges in something. If you actually have a void in your life that causes you to view sex like this, you probably know by now that therapy, friends, and family are significantly more helpful than listening to me bitch on YouTube. But if you're hooking up for any reason and still watching this video, I think some part of you knows that it's unfulfilling. The biggest issue with consistent casual sex is it doesn't just end after you bust. Right now, ask yourself if this is what you want your dating life to look like in 5 years. If not, then you don't immediately get to put all this behind you as soon as you decide to settle down. Stuff you do repeatedly rewires your brain and conditions it to the habits you practice. Human beings hate being uncomfortable, And if you're hooking up now, that's going to become what's comfortable for you. If you do shift towards wanting a long-term relationship and you haven't dated with that in mind recently, the idea of it will seem scary and different. Having sex with more people desensitizes you to the experience. It makes it easier to cheat, and it puts you in more positions to be hurt, both physically and mentally. None of these are absolutes, because most people will have sex with more than one person in their life. The experience varies for everyone, and who gets to decide what too much is? It's a slippery slope if you keep fucking just for the sake of it. A lot of people want to transition from casual to committed at some point in their lives, but they don't understand how hard that transition is. It's also easy now to complain that women are ran through, or guys are fuckboys, or whatever. Ask yourself if you've contributed at all to that system that made them that way. We've made it okay to care less and not take things as seriously. If I change my mind about going on a first date, I don't ghost the person. Even if it's just over a quick text, I'm upfront with them about it and give them however much of the reason I think that would actually benefit them to hear. If I don't want to keep going out with someone, I don't lie and say I'm busy or keep going out with them half-heartedly just to not hurt their feelings. I tell them that I don't want to keep seeing them. And even if someone's really hot, I wait to have sex with them. Maybe a little too long at this point. All that stuff is hard, and those conversations are awkward. But while you don't inherently owe anyone a reason, you'll respect yourself so much more for being direct. And you'll probably have less regrets if you wait a bit before fucking someone, unless it's me. For real, being indirect has its place. If someone's a threat to you or cheated on you, then yeah, ghost them. Don't make it your go-to option just because it's easier. I've never lived your life, so I can't say what's truly best for you. It's neither my intention nor is it possible to completely stop people from hooking up with this video. Sex is a part of the human experience, and I was not expecting to be a virgin for this long. But I don't regret the way my dating life turned out. If you watch this and agree with some of the points, if you don't like what you're doing now, it's okay for you to try something different. You don't gotta be perfect. Maybe just start out by waiting a few dates before sleeping with someone, even if you think they're really attractive. What I'm trying to say is, yo, stop telling me I look like a fuckboy. Sat beside me, used to laugh, had mad jokes. The teacher always got mad, so we passed notes. It started off so innocent. She had a vibe and a nigga started digging it.